And he's also my son, Andrew Rivers. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah.
What a wonderful welcome.
Don't sound too happy.
You know, I was thinking back to when I used to do your radio show, and we had a nickname for the segment. Do you remember what it was?
I don't.
We called it Nepotism at 9.
That's right, we did. And it
really
was
cool.
very appropriate. Yeah.
So I was trying to think of like a new name for the segment, and so I got Jokes for the Old Folks.
Oh man,
Jokes for
Jokes
the
for the old folks home, you know? It's like I'm putting this on my resume as community service. I just wanted everyone to
That's
be
fair.
aware.
Yeah, I do. Well,
Once a week, stop by, make sure they're not lonely.
yeah. You know, we could also call it I Can't Breathe.
that's dark.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
just dark.
That's tough.
Here's
I
a
get
line
it. I
for you,
like it.
Bob.
House Cracker goes over way better. Yeah.
I don't even think that one goes over well, but
Like a fart.
I hear the Cincinnati Reds need a new announcer if you're...
Ooh, yeah.
Oh. All right. So, welcome. Hey, Gabriel was great. Thank you for getting him.
Yeah, he's widely considered, and these things are pretty controversial, but he's widely considered probably the best comedian that Seattle can provide.
I see. Does he have
I'm
a
a
food?
close
Does he have a
second,
food
but-
taster when you serve him dinner?
I'm just a fan of the guy. I mean,
Yeah,
you know.
he's great. That's
did a
kind
good
of you to
job.
say. Yeah.
That's not the way to get ahead, Bob.
Are you widely considered in the top 2 or 3? I would imagine, right?
It depends who you're asking. Me, absolutely.
That's good.
In the Seattle Comedy Contest, I got 4th place out of 32 people, which is pretty good.
That's
and
good.
I was the top comic from Seattle in the competition that year. So
Oh, that's right.
So,
Because
you know.
people come from all over
correct.
the county.
Well, people come from Denver and Boston. I mean, it used to be somewhat reputable to be like, I won a competition, but they've sort of developed into like, you know, the judges are the weatherman, so you're kind of like,
Right.
you know, you're not feeling judged by your peers as much, but they're still good to test your act, you know, because it's like, for example, the Seattle contest is 3 weeks long, and so the first week is only 5 minutes, and then the second week, if you advance, is 10 minutes, and then the third week is 15 minutes. So it's almost, and then you have like 5 shows each round, so it's almost like an NFL season where you're like making changes in between each show,
right.
each game, you know, and then you get to the end and you're like, why did I throw a pass on the goal line? That was so stupid.
Right.
And
right.
then,
You try not to get injured at the wrong
yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh. Well, all right. So, by the way, Christopher Titus called me.
Oh, good. I gave him your number. I hope that's okay.
No, it was really cool. He's one of the big top comedians in the country, and we would love to have him on maybe next week or the week after. It sounds like he's up for it, though. He's a good guy.
Yeah, just text him whenever.
All right. He's mentored you, right?
Yeah. I don't know if he wants to take credit for that all the way, but
Yeah.
Probably not.
but yeah, I mean, you know, doing your show allowed me to meet all sorts of cool people and develop relationships, and so when I first started Titus, you guys made me tell a joke, and it wasn't a good joke. There's a couple key parts to the story.
Okay,
Is
go
I
ahead.
told the joke on air, and you guys kind of gave me a chuckle. And then during the break, you go, oh, we're going to have Titus on. You should tell Titus a joke. And in my head, I'm like, what a great idea. And, you know, why don't I tell a professional a joke that I've done 3 open mics. I'm sure he would love.
It's true.
If I call into a radio station to promote my special, please have your son tell me his joke. And so it bombed, and then, you know, it was only quiet for a second, but it feels like, you know, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And so then he gave me some great comedy writing advice, and
I remember that you were just getting started, and here I am telling. But the reason I told him is because he was one of my favorite comics of all time, Christopher Titus. He had a show on Fox, he had another show on ABC, he had a special called Love is Evil that just is a screaming 90 minutes. And then he would do another special every 18 months. And I just considered him to be this amazing, amazing guy. And so after I introduced him to you and he gave you really good advice on the air, he gave you about 3 minutes of how to do comedy.
Right.
And you took that advice. And
yeah, it was basically like after every sentence should be an attempt at a punchline. Like anytime you type out a joke and you have a period, the next sentence should attempt some kind of a joke. And it's really difficult. And I remember specifically years where I wasn't as good of a comic, and I would be writing out jokes and going like, "Screw him, that's impossible." And then I'd watch his special and be like, "All right, well, goddamn, you can do that."
Yeah. Well, and eventually he would come back to town, and you would open for him, and he'd have you open for him in theaters, and he'd have you fly.
So the first night, I was like 3 years into comedy, and he was doing Snoqualmie Casino, which was 5 minutes from where I got beat up in high school. And so now I'm like backstage before the concert, just kind of talking to him and going like, yeah, I just put 100,000 miles on my car this year. I'm an idiot. I'm driving around the country. And he goes, I just worked at Rooster T. Feathers in San Jose, which is like his home club. That's where he started.
Right.
And he was like, well, if they hired you, you can't be terrible. And so the casino director walks in and goes, hey, 5 minutes to showtime. What's the order? And Titus goes, hey, you want to do 5 minutes? And there's, 1,200 people out there.
Yep.
So I was like, let me change my underwear real quick. And then I'm on the side of the stage, and then Mom is texting me from the audience going, hurry up, the show's about to start. And I'm on stage, and I'm trying to text her back, but they're holding the rope, and I'm trying to be like, I am the show, but I can't say anything.
So great.
And so I just walked out, and even Keith was walking in and like still carrying drinks, and then he pulled up his phone to record me, and then the security guard shouted at him, and he was like, that's my brother. And then they were like, I guess keep recording. Yeah. And and
I
so,
have immunity. That's my brother. The laws don't apply to me.
Yeah.
But you did the 5 minutes, and it was good. It was good. It was good enough.
I got off stage. I introduced his wife, and then he put his arm around me and was like, good job. And here's a couple tag ideas and a couple different things. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. How cool is that?
Yeah,
That's
very, very
guy.
cool. And and that continued. And there have been a lot of other great comics too that Nepotism at 9. That was the name of the show.
Yeah.
Well, now it's 9 p.m. See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good. Nepotism at bedtime.
Yeah. So Andrew, what's up this week?